Unspecified number killed in the protests over a massive increase in fuel prices announced over the weekend. Protesters burnt tyres, barricaded roads and torched cars in Harare and Bulawayo, with police firing rubber bullets and tear gas to disperse the crowds. In rand terms, it now costs over 43 rand to buy a litre of petrol in Zimbabwe, making it the most expensive in the world. Our reporter Ephert Musekiwa is in Harare. Let's cross to him live now for an update on the situation. Ephert, a very good morning to you. Reports say the MDC headquarters was set alight last night. Can you confirm this?
Good morning. Yes, indeed, there was a fire or a petrol bomb that was thrown at the MDC main headquarters in Harare, but there was not very much extensive damage that was done. As to who started the fire, it's not clear.
I don't have him in my ear.
Can you hear me?
Ephert, do we know the exact number of fatalities yet?
Well, the number of fatalities have not been confirmed as we speak, but what we do know is that Zimbabwe Doctors for Human Rights issued a statement that they were attending to more than 26 cases of people who were injured during yesterday's clashes between the police and protesters. But as to the number of fatalities, it has not been released to the public yet. But what we witnessed, injuries like the area I was yesterday, I witnessed 3 people that had been shot and injured during the skirmishes.
Any word from President Mnangagwa?
Unfortunately, we have not received any word. The only communication that we have received was last night on state media, where the Minister of State Security issued a press statement saying that they know that the MDC Alliance and some non-governmental organizations are actually the ones that are responsible for the protests and the violence that is happening across Harare and Bulawayo. So really, President Emerson Mnangagwa hasn't commented or hasn't issued a statement. Only the Minister of State Security did that last night.
Has there been any protest action in other areas besides Harare and Bulawayo that we're perhaps not aware of?
I haven't received any reports, but Chitungwiza is a dormitory town which feeds into Harare. It's just on the outskirts of Harare. There was some violence there, and we understand one person was shot dead, and his body was taken to the police station, was actually dumped at the police station. So those are the main areas. It's only in very predominant in Harare and Bulawayo and Chitungwiza. And in other cities, we haven't heard of any reports of violence breaking down.
Ephert, let's just revisit that question about the torching of the MDC officers. What has been the response from the MDC?
Well, we haven't received the official response. I actually passed through the MDC headquarters this morning just to assess the damages. Yes, there are some glass, the headquarters on the ground floor, windows were broken. There's a shop that sells MDC regalia, and there was a PA system in that their publicity, one of their publicity offices. It is the one that was broken down, that was broken into, and petrol bomb thrown into that shop. The rest of the building didn't sustain any serious burns or anything, but the opposition up to now has not yet commented. Only people on social media are the ones that are commenting, they're saying that it might be a threat by the authorities or by ZANU-PF to make sure that the MDC does retaliate, and when they do retaliate, it will give them an opportunity to use force against the opposition.
The tally we have right now is that 200 people have been arrested. Is that the case? And what sort of legal processes are going to follow from here on?
Yes, it is true that 200 people were confirmed to have been arrested. This was confirmed by the this was confirmed on the national broadcaster last night on state media, that 2 people had actually been arrested for various crimes. offensive. As to when they'll appear in court or what charges they are actually facing, we wait to see as the day progresses when more details are available to us.
Another report, Ephert, and it might be a bit of a bizarre one, but it was saying that the president has backtracked on his announcement, Sunday announcement, and said that it was actually a smaller amount compared to the $3 that had been announced. Is there any such conversation?
Not at all. Remember, it was the president himself who made the announcement, so I don't think he would publicly make that statement. Unfortunately, as you are aware, he is in Russia at the present moment, so any communication through his office has to be made either through the Ministry of Information or the other relevant communication arms within his office. But we have not heard of such a report of him backtracking. What we have seen on the state broadcaster is actually a report on his trip in Russia and the outcome of his meetings and stuff like that, and nothing on the fuel situation. No reports from his office regarding the fuel situation or the announcement that he made before he left.
Give us a sense of life right now in Zimbabwe, especially in Harare and Bulawayo. Is it safe for civilians, the ones who are not taking part in protest? Are they continuing with their lives, or is there a shutdown?
What I can tell you right now is that I have actually driven around the city center, the CBD. It's deserted. There are no people on the streets. There are no vehicles. The only thing, or the only people that I saw are the army and the police that have been deployed to the central business district of Harare. So I think people are just being extra cautious, and they have not even traveled, or they've not even moved into town to see what's happening. And also, you do understand that as of yesterday, in some areas there were, some of the protesters were targeting people who were just traveling. So people are actually afraid to move or to get onto public transport, because public transport yesterday became targets by some protesters who were saying, why are you not heeding our call to join the protest? And people were forced, and some vehicles were stoned for carrying passengers or for not participating in the strike. So really, for now, I think most people are being cautious and will not join the demonstrations, would rather stay at home and be safe.
And finally, Ephert, has government reached out to the protesters to give some sense of how they're going to, what the way forward is going to be in terms of resolving this impasse?
Well, I don't know if it's their way of reaching out, but what they have actually issued are statements and warnings to the protesters that are destroying property. Both the police and the Minister of State Security have issued warnings to the public. As to a solution of how this thing will be handled, none of that has been put on the table, but all they have done is issue warnings and threats that they will arrest, and that anyone caught on the wrong side of the law will be arrested and prosecuted. So no solution or no offers have been put on the table for the protesters.
Thank you so much for that update. Ephert Musekiwa is coming to us from Harare and giving us an update on the situation in Zimbabwe following the announcement by President Mnangagwa over the weekend of fuel price hikes.